So hello everybody and welcome back to another film. So tonight you find me in a very odd place, not the sort of start to my normal video. So the story goes is that about 6 months ago I decided that I wasn't enjoying travelling to photo locations very early in the morning when it was dark on the roads, unpredictable roads and roads I don't know, and also the pressure of getting to a place at a certain time in time for sunrise and all the chaos that goes with that. I absolutely love getting up early in the morning. I'm the first to get out of bed whenever there's an opportunity to go and shoot a sunrise, but it was just that travelling part of it that I wasn't really enjoying. So we decided a couple of months ago that we would get rid of my Land Rover, the vehicle that I use for the most part, and buy this, which is a Ford Transit custom van. I now sleep on location in this. I can get up in the morning, feel nice and fresh, lots of spare time to hand. I can make a nice brew when I get up and just relax into the morning with all that chaos behind me the night before. So in here it's very basic. As you can see, it is literally just a panel van and nothing more. It's freezing in here at the moment, but I'm well equipped. I've got everything I need. I've got a double burner stove, I've got all the coffee, I've got food and all the essentials to cook a meal for 2 or 3 nights if I wanted. Decent 4-season bag here, nice comfy pillow from home, and my bed is just strapped to the back, a foam mattress there, and the all essential porta potty. So I'm good to go. I've got everything in this small space that I need for my photo excursions. So I'm going to get my head down now, and I shall see you in the morning. There we go. So good morning everybody. That was a pretty comfortable night. I've got up bright and early. It's just gone 6:30. Sunrise is at 7:42. Got myself a coffee and the heated seats are on, so I am good to go. So the location that I'm at today is a place called Kelly Hall, Tarn in the Lake District. Now before I go on to that, just quickly place names and locations. In the last few videos I've stopped giving location names away, and the reason for that is because as the channel grows I'm becoming increasingly more and more concerned about recreational pressure. A lot of the sites that I go to are sensitive sites, and I just need to be a little bit more mindful of potentially lots of people hitting those locations after a film has gone out, especially if it's a successful film. If you want to know the locations, please get in touch via email and I will give you them. They are not private, they're not exclusive to me. It's just that they are a little bit sensitive in a lot of cases. So please do that and I will happily give you the place names. So today I'm at Kelly Hall, Tarn in the Lake District, and this is a place that I visited in 2018 December. It wasn't long after I got my medium format camera and I only had the one lens, so I've got a full range of lenses now, so I've got a lot more scope for the image that I've got in mind. Now I'll put a link to the video above. At that time I commented that I felt that the image would benefit from the trees in the background of the image. There's some birches to the left and some sycamores to the right and Coniston fells in the distance. I said they would benefit from some autumn colour, and that's the time of year I am in now. So hopefully the trees have got that nice colour, we just need the light. This morning the forecast was for I think 60% low cloud. That's not ideal. As landscape photographers we want that high cloud to catch as the sun comes up in the morning. But to be fair, the shot that I commented on, the end, is reliant on sunlight hitting the trees, so that's after the sun's breached the horizon. We might get that 50% cloud and may well mean that the sun will come through those gaps and we will get that light. But crucially as well, what I also need is some very still conditions, because the Tarn needs to have that mirror reflection for it all to work. So all the conditions have got to come together for this image to work. But I'm here, it's the right time of year, so I've done the best that I can. The weather forecast could be better, but it's not too bad. So I shall finish this, get the camera. It's just about starting to come light now. I can just see a glimmer of pale blue on the horizon, and I shall see you up there. So we're all set up and ready to go. The camera is on the tripod. We've got the nodal rail ready for a panoramic shot, all leveled up, ready to go. And I'm using the wide angle lens, it seemed the best lens for the shot, and a 0.6 neutral density filter to hold back the bright portions of the sky. Now, as the weather forecast predicted, we've got a lot of cloud above me right now. It's just about sunrise and there's a tiny bit of pink showing over there, the pre-dawn light just finishing. It's going to be probably half an hour before I get some directional sunlight. I'll just show you the shot behind me. That's Kelly Hall Tarn, and that's the image I'm looking for there with the Coniston Fell. Part of the Coniston Fells in the background. But yeah, it's going to be about half an hour, I expect, before the directional light starts to hit the trees. I have timed it right. I can see the sycamores, sycamores off to the right hand side and the birches to the left there have got their leaves still, so that's fantastic. All that I need now is that light. The Tarn is beautifully still. There was a forecast of 2 meters per second wind picking up a little bit later on, so it's all hanging in the balance at the minute. We'll just have to see what happens, but that's landscape photography. That's why we love it. It's all the anticipation that builds for the shot. Sometimes we get lucky, sometimes we don't, so we'll just have to wait it out and see what happens. So I think the time has come, folks. I don't think we're going to get that light. Look at that thick bank of cloud. It's 9:30 and the sun would have been on these fells by now. It certainly would have been catching at this locality where I am, and I don't think it's going to happen. So the camera's still over there just on the tripod in the hope that something might happen, but my thoughts are that it's probably time to move on. But rather than just pack up the bag and just zoom out of here, it's always worth having a look around your locality to see if there's anything that catches your eye. So I've had a walk around the lake, and it's a lovely little lake, and there's some beautiful bog bean plants growing in it that would make some nice images at the right time of year when they're in flower. But what caught my eye was just over here, when you get to this angle, there's some lovely delicate rushes just growing out of the water, and because we've got this blanket grey overhead, we could potentially make an image out of that. So I'm going to go over there and grab the camera and see how it looks. I feel like I've been standing here forever and a day, as well as waiting for the dawn light this morning, for the conditions to just be right for the shots, and I am pretty fussy when it comes to getting the image right, and I feel that certainly that image over there this morning wasn't very good. Obviously didn't get the light, but equally this image, I'm waiting for just the right amount of reflections of the clouds in the surface for it to work for me. It's nice to just have a flat silver lake in contrast with the reeds, which is nice in itself, but for me, I'm just trying to add a little bit of an extra dimension in by waiting for the clouds to just have a spotlight of a break above them that just lights a portion that's surrounded by darker tones, just to give a bit more contrast. I'm not getting what I want. It was exactly that caught my eye when I first walked around, and it's just never happened since. And what I'm getting now is patches of light, which is all right, but it's not ideal. Secondly, and crucially for this image, is that I can't get the camera down low enough for the angle. Now, plants always benefit from the camera angle being low down, because if you think about it, as human beings, when we're stood up, we're looking down at plants all the time, so it's a position that we're just used to seeing, so it doesn't catch our eye the same. When you get down, it's much more dynamic, more intimate, and it brings the whole image alive. Now, the problem I've got is that when I get the camera down to the level where I want it to be, the hillside at the back is interrupting the tops of the reeds, and that's not ideal. So I'm sort of got the camera set up somewhere in between the two, just to get that compromise. If I can get a little bit of light, I think it'll work, but there's always tweaks that can be made to improve the image. The bog bean that's everywhere is lovely, but I've zoomed in on a couple of those, some nice groupings of groups of twos with one bending over with a reflection, and groups of threes in different shapes. But they've really gone over at this time of year, and the leaves are looking quite tatty, so I'm leaving those alone. But I think there's an image here. If I get that little pool of light, or who knows, with the dappling of the light within the clouds, it might work. I'm probably going to give it another half an hour and see if I can get what I originally saw, and then I'll move on. So what you're going to see now is that image, followed by the image that I took this morning over there, and then finally the image that I took in 2018, just so you can compare those two together. So time to move on, I think. It's now 10:15. I've been here for quite a while, and when I consider that we're in the middle of autumn and there's so many woodlands in the Lake District that are probably going to look beautiful as we speak, I need to get going and try and find some further images. So back to the van, quick coffee, refreshments, and look for the next one. So that was about an hour ago, and I've come now to a woodland that I come to quite a lot, and I know really quite well, and every time I always seem to get something worthwhile. Now I have to say the colours are really quite special this year. Just do a quick 360 there, try and keep the camera steady. Really beautiful. So because the light is really flat, it probably couldn't get any more flatter if it tried. I'm going to have to adapt the type of things that I shoot, or adapt to the type of things that I shoot. And it just so happens that this sort of photography is the type of photography that really suits me and I always enjoy, which is the closer details. The bigger scenes with the dramatic light would have been brilliant today in autumn, the way it is, with lots of contrasting light shafting through the trees. That would have been lovely. Or perhaps some atmospheric conditions like the fog or mist that we always seem to crave, but I've not got any of that today, so it's the smaller scenes for me that I'm really looking forward to. Grab the bag and go for a walk, and hopefully we'll find something really nice. So I just thought I'd record this little piece, because often I'm aware that I arrive at an image, I check it out, and if it's good I do it, if it's not, you don't know anything about it. So I thought I'd record this little piece, which is essentially me just walking around looking at whatever might present itself, like I said a few minutes ago. And since I've got up here, the sun has started to come out a little bit, and the birches have really come alive in places. Very, very striking. But what I'm trying to find is clean compositions, and that's the key thing I think with nature photography. And I know nature isn't perfect, it's very cluttered and messy, things are dying, and the whole cycle of life in any habitat continues, and that can be very messy, but equally it can be very beautiful. And perhaps there's an argument for not just showing the beautiful but also showing the messy, but I think for me it still needs to be shown in a compelling way. Falling all over the place. So I'm walking around just literally looking for anything that might present itself, and usually I find that it doesn't happen immediately, and you can walk around for hours and find nothing. But one of the important things to always try and keep in mind, and I'm as guilty as the next person, is to not put your blinkers on and just start marching through wherever it is that you are. I think you need to take time out to slow down and stop, and a few of my videos have shown that. where I've rested for a while and then something has revealed itself, and I think it's only then that you start to see things. So perhaps there is things all around us all the time. We've just got to open our eyes and our minds to find it. So I've just walked into this bit of a quarry here, and there's lots of beautiful colours all around. One thing that keeps grabbing my eye, and you can see it just up on the crag there, there's what looks like an old hazel, very old hazel, just clinging on for dear life on that rock face, and it's very colourful, very striking against the grey slate. But there's part of it, there's one half of it that's dead. I've got no leaves on it certainly, and it's that's stopping me from having a look at it. But these are the sort of things that I'm looking out for as I'm walking round. And apart from that, in this little nook, I'm not really seeing anything else. But I might just practice what I preach, and I might just put the bag down, have a drink of water, and just chill out for 5 minutes. So I've walked quite a bit of distance today. 10,000 steps pinged on my watch about an hour and a half ago, and I know that's not a lot in the grand scheme of things, but my bag, fully loaded as it is today, is 18 kilos, so nearly 40 pounds. So quite a weight. And I have to say, this landscape where I am at the moment is very undulating, lots of hills and troughs, and I've been out here a good while now looking for an image. And the reason I haven't, I mean, obviously you've not seen the interim period where I've been looking for images, but I've been trying desperately not to cover old ground, and trying also not to do stuff that I'm seeing other people do on other channels at the moment. And I'm looking for something that is more intimate, more abstract, something more painterly. And I'll just show you these trees behind me. This little area here, this area of quarry, is just full of the most beautiful silver birch trees, and on the right day they look stunning. But today it's just impossible to get a composition among them. So I'm waffling. Just over there, there's a birch that's in really beautiful condition, autumn colours, and it's sort of a little bit brighter than all the others around it, ever so slightly. There's a little variation in contrast, but you can see the branches feeding through those golden leaves, and that's what I'm going to set up on now. So camera out, let's see how it looks. So that is ready to go. So what I've done is I've aligned the image with just a little bit of sky showing on the top left. I'm going to crop that out. What I keep doing at the moment is I'm finding that I'm using that camera there to find my compositions. I do like that 16:9 crop that camera has, and I'm probably going to do the same with this. Not committing 100%, but that's the way I feel. I'll certainly be losing that top bit. I actually needed to have that cornering just to get the composition that I wanted, so I will certainly be losing that top slither of the frame. Settings wise, for those of you that are interested, it's f13, it's a fifth of a second at 100 ISO. The lens is a zoom lens 85 to 160. It's on about 135mm at the moment, and that's round about 100mm on a full frame camera. I've got the case polarizer because the light's just catching some of the surfaces of the leaves that are shining with the light on them. So just rotating that polarizer around has helped to reduce that particular glare on the surfaces. I'm good to go. 2-second timer's on. Let's take the image. I'll put that on in a second, but what I will say is please leave some comments below. Let me know what you think of today's video. As always, it feels like it's been a hard one today. It's been a long old day looking for new images, and it's not always easy to find those. We often find that we repeat things over and over again, looking to just make slight improvements with what we've already got. Thumbs up is always good for the channel, and if you're not already subscribed, please do so and ring that bell for those notifications. So until next time, I'm going to put that image on now. Bye for now.